Hey, this is Erin, and this is the road to the Arnold Classic South Africa. I'm about 3.5 weeks out, and I wanted to share with you 6 quick tips for meal planning and meal prep that will help you get leaner with less effort. So the first one is intermittent fasting. So currently I'm eating between the hours of 8 o'clock in the morning and 8 o'clock at night. Super easy. 2 days a week I'm doing fasted HIIT cardio, so it might be 10 o'clock in the morning when I eat my first meal, and I'll stop eating at 8 o'clock at night. And the reasoning behind this is you want to stop eating 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. This allows the body time to rest and digest, and then you also have a little bit more time for your body to spend on recovery while you're sleeping. I found that it also helps reduce inflammation. So super easy intermittent fasting. Next one is pay attention to your nutrient timing and portions. So the goal is to have protein at every meal and then to fuel your body when you're most active. So for example, protein at every meal. You're not able to store protein as a macro. You can store fats, you can store carbs. So that's why it's important. Protein's the building block of muscle. It helps with satiety, and whatever foods you combine with it, it can help regulate your blood sugar level. So for example, if you're worried about white rice, or if you're worried about apples or fruit or that kind of thing, if you're combining it with a lean protein, it's not going to have the same effect. So that's why I don't necessarily look at the GI index. I am combining my proteins with it and kind of slowing things down, and also helping to try to encourage muscle synthesis rather than muscle breakdown. Because as you know, if you're in a caloric deficit, your body has a tendency to want to try to start breaking that muscle down. So giving it plenty of protein is hopefully going to offset that. And it's pretty much impossible for the body to take protein and convert it into body fat. So if you're going to overeat on something, I would say overeat on your proteins. That's what I do. So calorie counting. I don't count calories. And the reasoning behind this is because it's often tedious and it doesn't tell the whole story. So I do count portions, and we'll get to that in a minute. But calorie counting, not all calories are created equally, right? So you've got, let's say you have a steak and you want the steak well done. I like the steak rare. If you cook the steak well done, it actually has more available calories than the rare steak. And the reasoning behind this is that when you cook a food, it increases the amount of available calories to you because it's essentially digesting or partially digesting the food for you. So that's why portions are a little bit easier, because you can kind of like not eyeball it, but you're not getting into the nitty gritty. Rice or sweet potatoes, something that you heat up and you put in the fridge. This creates a resistant starch, which is awesome. It's like a longer chain carbohydrate, and your body doesn't necessarily digest it. So if you're heating rice and you're cooling it and you go to eat it, you might reduce those calories by 30%. So, counting calories here makes it a little bit tough. Vegetables, same thing. If you're eating raw broccoli or raw spinach, it's gonna have way less calories available to you than if you're cooking it, or if you're eating canned food, that type of thing, that it's assimilated, almost assimilated for you. So if you're looking to really pinpoint calories, it's not always the best way, because your body is going to utilize calories differently. So that's why I say 4 to 6 ounces of meat. You're looking at a half a cup to a cup of rice, maybe 4 to 8 ounces of sweet potato, and don't be afraid that you eat a little bit more after your workouts. So if you usually get 4 ounces of sweet potato, bump it up to 6 or 8 ounces right after your workout, because this is going to help replenish your glycogen stores, and you're going to feel a lot better. And with the nutrient timing, I eat more when I'm most active. So my last meal of the day, when I'm just winding down, might just be 8 ounces of chicken and maybe a little avocado, or 6 ounces of salmon and steamed broccoli. So it's mostly protein, a little bit of fats, lots of veggies, because veggies are a free food. You can pretty much have as many veggies as you want. So the next thing, I like to eliminate the potentially inflammatory foods. Now, this can be a little bit tricky because I don't believe I have sensitivity to all inflammatory foods, but you think about the role of the liver, and the liver metabolizes fat, which is what we want it to do. We want it to help us get lean, but the liver also helps eliminate toxins. So you're looking at the foods that can cause a problem are your wheat, your dairy, soy, processed foods. And processed foods and artificial sweeteners, that type of thing, make it kind of tough for you to get lean. Not saying it's impossible, because I've seen plenty of people drink Diet Coke and get shredded. But if the goal is to get lean as quickly as possible and as easily as possible, it kind of makes sense to try to eliminate those things to make it as easy on your body as you can, because you're asking it to do something that's above and beyond where it wants to be, so you have to go above and beyond what you would normally eat. That being said, I don't have any food that I consider off limits, because I think dieting is as much, you have to consider the mental aspects of it along with the physical aspects. So I don't consider them off limits, but I recognize that if I want to fuel my body and I want to feel really good, I want to give my body stuff that's easy for it to digest, which makes it easier for me to reach my goals. So those are my quick tips. I hope it helped. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything specific you want to see. Thanks for watching. Until next time, train hard and eat right. Keep it simple.